Past 2.5 weeks, 53 teams have played 49 games around the country. Now it comes down to this place. 2 playoff games today, the national championship in just 2 days. Let's take a minute to see how these final 4 teams earned its coveted trip to Seattle. In the Mid-East region, Coach Joe B. Hall's powerful #1 seeded Kentucky Wildcats had an opening and first-round bye. Kentucky crushed Brigham Young 93-68 and then overwhelmed arch-rival Louisville 72-67. In the Mid-East Finals, the Wildcats conquered a tough Illinois 5, 54-51, bringing them here today. Their opponents, Coach John Thompson's Hoyas of Georgetown, top seeded in the West. They also received opening and first-round byes. The Hoyas barely squeaked past Southern Methodist 37-36 before finding their form by slicing through Nevada-Las Vegas 62-48. Georgetown took the West Region title against Dayton 61-49. Today's first semifinal brings together Coach Guy Lewis's Phi Slamma Jamma team, the mighty Cougars of Houston. #2 seeded in the Midwest region, the Cougars had opening and first-round byes before posting solid victories over Louisiana Tech 77-69 and Memphis State 78-71. Houston captured the region by defeating Wake Forest 68-63. Facing the Cougars, Virginia's Cavaliers, coached by Terry Holland, 1984 Cinderella team that had to win a first-round heartstopper over Iona 58-57, edged past Arkansas in the second round 53-51, and finally enjoyed a breather when they beat Syracuse in the East Region semifinals 63-55. The Cavaliers' 50-48 win over Indiana made believers among the toughest fans. The answer will be decided between Georgetown and Kentucky. Coach John Thompson's dazzling young Hoyas come into the semifinal with a 32-3 record, a team record. Kentucky coach Joe B. Hall brings a team into this game sparked by the remarkable senior 5'11" Dickie Beal, whose tournament performances earned him outstanding player honors in the Mid-East region. With the game moments away, both coaches hope their game plan works. Thompson had some very specific ideas.
We felt that one of the things that we wanted to do was to put a lot of pressure, particularly after we came out of our zone defenses. We usually started the game in our zone defenses against everyone because we were afraid of foul trouble. And after we felt we came out, we felt we had to put pressure to try to particularly get Bowie from under the basket and force him to come out and to really pressure.
Okay, here we go. Georgetown center 7-foot Patrick Ewing faces Kentucky's 6'11" Melvin Turpin. Kentucky's Kenny Walker takes possession. Beal drops a 19-footer. Kentucky gets the ball right back, drives down court. Jim Master makes it 4-0. Seconds later, Ewing makes it 4-2. Following a Kentucky free throw, David Wingate slaps the ball out of Walker's hands and passes to Michael Jackson. 4-5. Coach Thompson likes what he sees. He knows this is not a Kentucky team you take for granted. During the past season, the Wildcats took the Southeastern Conference regular season crown an incredible 35th time. Thompson sends in subs and strategy. Ewing makes it 6-7. Kentucky's instant reply is Walker's basket with 15:05 to go. The Wildcats are starting to build a lead. Turpin scores, followed by Bowie. Kentucky 13-8. Neither side scores for 3.5 minutes. It's almost an omen. 4 attempts by Georgetown. Nothing. Kentucky's Beal regains control and moves up court. Turpin misses. Bowie rebounds and puts this one away, making it 15-8 with 9:08 to go. Georgetown calls a much-needed timeout. The statistics up to this point, a disaster. Georgetown has made only 4 of 19 shots. The Hoyas are shooting a dismal 21.1%. 2 points from Beal come after 3 Georgetown goals. The score is 19-14. Georgetown's defense is still shaky. With this smooth, buoy move from the baseline, Kentucky leads by 8. A timeout after 2 free throws by Bowie. The Wildcats lead by 10. Kentucky stretches its lead to 12 on this 12-footer by Turpin. Just over 3 minutes in the half. Georgetown fans are suffering. Michael Graham brings them 2 points closer. And some joy. Then something strange happens. Play continues, and Kentucky cannot score. Outside of 2 free throws, the Wildcats don't score a point during the last 3 minutes of play. This Graham dunk with 3 seconds to go closes the half on a high note for the Hoyas. But Kentucky leads 29-22, 7 big points.
At halftime, we weren't really surprised to be behind. We were really happy to be behind only by 7, particularly the way the first half went. We got behind, and Patrick got into early foul trouble, and I became conservative and afraid and wanted to play with him in the second half. So I told the team that when they were up on us by double figures, that if we could go in and cut it below 10 or to 10, that we would be in good shape.
Georgetown's coach insists the team was in good shape. The statistics, in fact, are anything but good. Georgetown shot a terrible 34.5% with 11 rebounds, while Kentucky made 50% of its shots and grabbed 15 rebounds. Second half, the next 10 minutes go down in Kentucky history as some of its cruelest frustration, as Georgetown closes a gap with baskets by Wingate. Gene Smith and Jackson. The 7-point lead becomes 1, 29-28, and the Wildcats are almost immobilized. Ewing's hand is there at 17:08, and Georgetown is ahead for the first time, 30-29. Time races by. Kentucky's Winston Bennett finally breaks the Wildcat dry spell. 10 minutes into the second half. 13 minutes have passed since the Wildcats' last basket. Another Georgetown basket puts the tally at 36-31, and Kentucky calls a desperate timeout. It has made only 1 of its last 12 shots. The next 5 minutes are even more destructive. Kentucky simply cannot score. Georgetown can and does, with baskets by Williams. Graham. And Wingate, topped by 2 Jackson free throws. With 4:16 to go, Georgetown's lead is 14. Kentucky misses another incredible 11 in a row. James Blackman finally scores. But for Georgetown fans, the Wildcats are just about dead and buried. Everything is going Georgetown's way. This Wingate fumble and save is half the story. Coach Hall's reaction is the other. And it's Wingate again. 39 seconds left. The final Wildcat humiliation is this steal, forced by Wingate. Jackson pulls it away and lofts down court to Williams. He misses, but marvel at this beautiful peekaboo drop by Ewing. It simply adds insult to a big injury. The game ends with Georgetown winning 53-40. What a game. Georgetown's daring pressure attack has worked. In the entire second half, not a single Wildcat starter scored a field goal.
There was a tremendous joy after beating Kentucky, because Kentucky was a great team, and so as a coach right away you start to guard against overconfidence, and I think the kids would have assumed that we had lost the ball game, because right away I wanted to take the crust off, the happiness, the overconfidence, and say, hey fellas, we've got one more basketball game to play, and they want it just as bad as we do, and we better make certain that we're ready for it.
It's Monday night. the national championship. The fans once again fill the fabulous King Dome with over 38,000. They're ready, and so are the two teams. Georgetown, it made the Final Four only twice, in 1943 and 1982, when it lost a heartbreaker in the final to North Carolina, 63-62. Houston's Cougars have been here 4 times. Coach Guy Lewis brings his team to the Final Four this year for a 3rd straight time. Last year, Houston lost in the final second against North Carolina State. The teams meet at center court, and we're ready to go. Houston gains control and starts quickly. Reed Geddes hits the first 2 points. Georgetown's Michael Jackson answers. Houston's Michael Young goes on a roll once, twice, 3 times. Georgetown's zone defense doesn't seem to be working. Houston's Lewis watches Georgetown substitute freshman Michael Graham for Ralph Dalton. Geddes goes over the top and stretches Houston's lead to 8. Georgetown's Thompson drops his zone game and goes man-to-man. His substitution pays off here as Graham plants one to give Georgetown 4. Houston leads by 6. But a dazzling Houston fast break has the ball back down court and into the hands of 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐤𝐿. Houston by 8. The next 4 baskets happen as fast as it takes to say Jackson. Franklin. Brown. And Wingate, whose basket counts as Houston's Ricky Winslow is called for goaltending. Houston 14, Georgetown 10. A timeout with 14:47 to go. Houston has been perfect, making 7 out of 7 from the floor. 2 Ewing free throws bring the Hoyas within 2. The big guy forces this turnover. Reggie Williams drives down the floor. Winslow, who lost the ball to Ewing, somehow manages to be there, but it's not a save, it's goaltending. The score is tied 14-14. Coach Thompson, meanwhile, continues to make substitutions, shifting players, looking for that perfect balance. But where is team captain Gene Smith, crucial to Georgetown's defense? Right now, it's head-to-head basketball. Olajuwon neatly puts this one away, making it 16-14 Houston. Moments later, Georgetown's Ewing answers with his own 2-pointer, tying the game again. Wingate drives, and this 12-footer from the baseline puts Georgetown ahead for the first time in the game. The momentum seems to be slipping away from Houston. Ewing follows through. Georgetown leads by 4. With a timeout at 10 minutes into the first half, each side has scored 2 more baskets, and Georgetown's lead is still 4, 22-18. Play resumes. Georgetown makes another substitution. Jackson for Wingate. Jackson gets the ball to Ewing, who drops a 10-footer. The key at this moment seems to be that Georgetown substitutions are working. The subs are making plays, scoring points like this from Williams, who follows through on his own miss. With 8:38 to go in the half, it's 26-20. Under the boards, the spotlight is on the exciting duel between the veterans, Olajuwon and Ewing. This one goes to 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜, who brings Houston back to within 4. For Georgetown, the substitutions continue. Wingate for Broadnecks, Dalton for the Hot Williams. Georgetown seems to have found what the Houston fans now want, defense. As Michael Graham follows his own miss and makes it 30-22 Georgetown, with just under 7 minutes left in the half. Bill Martin, another sub, gives Georgetown a 10-point lead. The classic seesaw battle of minutes ago is disappearing. Yet 3 minutes later, Houston starts to move. Baskets come from Franklin. Then a beautiful interception by Benny Anders. It goes back to Franklin. Back to Anders, who stuffs it. And when 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 lays this one up, he forces Graham to commit his third foul. 3 minutes to go. Houston 28, Georgetown 34. The Houston fans know what their Cougars need now. Their shooting average has recovered to a solid 63.6%, but Georgetown's is holding at 57%. And the big difference is that overall they're taking more shots, even as Michael Young brings the Cougs to within 4. The half is winding down. Georgetown's defense is getting the ball back, causing turnovers, setting up baskets like this one for Wingate. Wingate's basket puts his team back to 8 ahead as 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 picks up his third foul. Georgetown keeps up the pressure. Wingate makes the lead a very solid 10 points. The half ends with Georgetown leading 40-30. The crucial story at the half is that Houston's 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 already has 3 fouls. Houston coach Lewis knows this is going to cause problems. He already has others. Georgetown's Thompson has been creating pressure combinations that not only produce points, but put up a tough defense, even without Gene Smith. Smith was injured during the semifinal against Kentucky, but at halftime, Thompson had something much different on his mind.
That was the most important half of basketball that we had that season. And in the 12 years, you say that, hey, we're 20 minutes away from it all. And you really are trying to make the players understand, hey, let's be up, let's be ready, let's stay sharp. And at some point, you say, hey, fellas, let's just go out and win this ball game. We have a chance to win the national championship.
Second half action, Houston trailing 40-30. Within seconds, 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 has his 4th personal. Coach Lewis's reaction needs no explanation. He looks up and sees Williams go right at 𝐀𝐫𝐿, who can't afford to make another mistake. 2 points. 𝐀𝐫𝐿 is challenged again. Graham makes 2. Georgetown 44, Houston 32. 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 brings the Cougars to within 10. But to threaten, he has to do more than score. He has to be able to go after the ball. And Coach Lewis can't take the chance. He replaces 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 with Greg Anderson. With 17:11 to go, Anderson tips it in, bringing his team back to within 6. Unimpressed, Graham's bit of dazzle makes the score 49-41 Georgetown. The 8-point difference is by now almost a barrier. Houston seems to shake time and again. Franklin does it once. And then the 16-footer from the side makes the score 51-47. Houston is back to within 4 with 14:01 to go. But Franklin is hurt. He may be out of the game. The frustration is painful. You can almost feel it. Following a Martin basket, Wingate's 12-footer makes it an 8-point difference again. With just over 12 minutes left, Houston makes massive changes, bringing 𝐀𝐫𝐿 and Franklin back. Each team adds 2 points. Houston's Franklin fights for 2 and follows up with a free throw. The difference is 5, 57-52. Thompson makes 4 substitutions. Moments later, Franklin is fouled again. When he makes his second shot, he brings the Cougars to within 3 points. It is the closest they have been since 9 minutes into the first half. 25 seconds later, Williams brings it back to a 5-point spread. Coach Lewis is sick about that one. Timeout, 9:55 to go. Georgetown is still shooting that rock-solid 56+%. Houston is making only half its shots. The spread becomes 7 with Graham stuffed 61-54. For Georgetown, it's all pressure and more pressure. The Hoya defense eats up precious time. Finally, 𝐀𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐤𝐥𝐲 gets his shot. Following a Houston timeout, Williams comes right back. Georgetown 63, Houston 56. Both teams trade baskets for the next 3 minutes. With 5:09 to go, it's Ewing. And now it's 68-60. The difference is 8. At 4:25, Franklin drives to make this beautiful 7-footer. He is fouled, and the Cougars are back to within 5. But the look of the Houston fans says it all. Their team just can't catch up. For Georgetown, the name of this game is now total control. Ewing and Graham combine their devastating power. The score, 72-65. The Georgetown fans know they have it. Ewing and Graham combine for one final thunderous stuff, bringing Graham's personal total to 14. Georgetown added 10 more points in the closing minutes, all on free throws. Houston's valiant effort falls short. Final score, Georgetown 84, Houston 75.
It's just a great feeling. It's just so indescribably delicious because we felt that we worked very hard to get there. And I didn't feel that these were a group of people who had taken any shortcuts. They played defense. They won the national championship with the hard part of the game. It's easy to play offense. It's easy to get credit for offense, but very few people acknowledge or recognize defense. And I think these kids won the national championship defensively, and I was extremely proud of that.
One final note. In the 2 games we've seen Georgetown play here in Seattle, the team scored 57 baskets. 54 of those baskets were scored by players who will be back next year. And we'll be back, too, when we'll see you in Lexington, Kentucky for the 1985 Final Four. This 46th annual NCAA National Collegiate Basketball Championship, Georgetown Pressure, has been brought to you by the Spalding Corporation.